acting differently.
My half-sister, who I hadn't seen for over a decade.
I'm not making him testify.
And that was only for a day and a half. Suddenly, it felt like she was everywhere.
Load worse for Meghan Markle because her sister Samantha ain't going anywhere.
Samantha Markle didn't just file an appeal, she detonated a legal bomb. Her revived defamation lawsuit at the 11th Circuit Court could force Meghan into public trial where every lie gets dissected under oath. Samantha has nothing left to lose. The statements Meghan made to Oprah and Netflix weren't personal attacks. They were character assassination disguised as victim storytelling. 3 years later, the sister Meghan tried to erase is fighting back with evidence that could shatter reputations. If she wins, Meghan faces trial where depositions become public record. If she loses, it's over. No higher court exists. But here's what nobody's discussing. The evidence Samantha's team has been building for 3 years. This is nuclear family revenge with constitutional implications. Stick around because Meghan's biggest enemy might be her own half-sister armed with receipts. Let's talk about the Oprah lies that started this war. 2 words to Oprah started this legal nightmare: only child.
About people that I really don't know, but I grew up as an only child, which everyone who grew up around me knows.
When Meghan described herself that way to 50 million viewers, she legally erased her half-sister from existence on the world's biggest stage. She told Oprah she'd only met Samantha a handful of times and claimed Samantha changed her surname back to Markle only after her royal relationship became public. These weren't casual family memories, they were specific, verifiable claims that constitute deliberate defamation. Normal family disagreements don't generate death threats. Samantha claims the Oprah statements destroyed her reputation and brought unwanted scrutiny to her Florida community. When your half-sister tells 50 million viewers you barely exist, the consequences are devastating. Samantha's federal lawsuit includes 38 requests for admission, including that Meghan deliberately lied to Oprah to sell a manufactured rags-to-royalty story. Those seemingly innocent Oprah moments could become Exhibit A, exposing how Meghan crafted her victim brand. And now to the Netflix hate group nuclear option. The Netflix docuseries went nuclear. The 6-part series allegedly accused Samantha of active hate group membership and spreading coordinated disinformation campaigns to destroy Meghan's reputation. That's career-ending defamation broadcast to 230 million Netflix subscribers globally. When you accuse someone of hate group membership on the world's largest streaming platform, you're systematically destroying a private citizen's reputation with industrial-scale character assassination. Meghan's attorneys argue that linking Samantha to hate groups represents opinion protected by the First Amendment. They're not denying the accusations. They're claiming constitutional protection gave them the legal right to make potentially false statements. According to Samantha's lawyer, Peter Tickton, his client never trolled Meghan, was never part of any hate group, never used the N-word on tweets, never monetized any hate tweets. If accurate, Netflix didn't stretch family truths. It allegedly fabricated hate group connections that could follow Samantha forever. And here's the Netflix contract disaster. Behind the legal warfare lies a corporate nightmare that could explain why this family feud exploded so publicly. Industry insiders reveal Netflix executives are privately furious about the Sussex deal's return on investment. The streaming giant expected royal exclusives and behind-the-scenes palace drama. Instead, they got therapy sessions and lifestyle content that failed to generate subscriber engagement. The hate group accusations against Samantha weren't just family drama. They were content strategy designed to create controversy that would drive viewership. If Samantha can prove these accusations were fabricated for entertainment value, Netflix could face its own legal liability for broadcasting false statements as documentary fact. Streaming contracts include specific clauses about factual accuracy in documentary content. If a federal court rules that Meghan's statements constituted defamation rather than protected opinion, Netflix could be held liable for amplifying and profiting from false accusations against a private citizen. The financial pressure from Netflix executives demanding better content could explain why Meghan escalated family disputes into global entertainment. When your streaming deal depends on generating controversy, even family relationships become potential content to be exploited for subscriber numbers and social media buzz. Now we examine the digital evidence trap. This case became a digital forensics nightmare. BuzzFeed News found evidence of Markle using Twitter accounts to spread conspiracy theories about her half-sister. Samantha categorically denied these claims under penalty of perjury. If Samantha orchestrated social media conspiracy theories, the digital evidence should be overwhelming. If she didn't, someone manufactured an elaborate digital hate campaign to justify the Netflix accusations. Here's the twist. Meghan built her case, claiming Samantha orchestrated online hate campaigns. But what if legal discovery reveals coordination on the other side? What if the real social media manipulation was designed to manufacture evidence for Netflix? Digital forensics preserve evidence lawyers can't make disappear. If this reaches trial, 3 years of social media activity from both sides becomes fair game for forensic examination. What terrifies Meghan's team most? Sworn depositions where both sides answer questions under oath with no media handlers or prepared statements. Federal Judge Charlene Edwards Honeywell dismissed Meghan's motion to avoid depositions, ruling the Duchess does not show that unusual circumstances justify special protection from sworn testimony. Royal titles provide zero protection from federal court procedures. Depositions are unrestricted legal fishing expeditions where anything related becomes fair game. Family history, Netflix production meetings, Oprah prep sessions, social media strategies, all examinable under oath with no time limits. The brutal reality, depositions become permanent public record if this proceeds to trial. Every uncomfortable pause, every I don't recall, every contradiction becomes permanent documentation. The Duchess, who built her brand on controlled storytelling, could be forced to explain every inconsistency under oath. Now, here's the Obama judge political warfare. Samantha's lawyer went nuclear, publicly claiming the district court judge, an Obama appointee, dismissed the lawsuit and calling the decision fundamentally wrong. That's political warfare disguised as legal strategy. When federal lawyers question judges' political appointments rather than legal reasoning, it signals either desperation or genuine belief the dismissal was so flawed, only political bias explains it. If Samantha wins her appeal, it validates claims the original dismissal was politically influenced rather than based on sound law. That transforms a family lawsuit into a constitutional precedent case about judicial fairness and celebrity privilege. Ticken promises his team is tasked with overturning a fundamentally wrong decision. That's crusader language, not routine appellate work. Samantha's lawyer delivered a brutal public warning. If I were to give advice to Meghan, it would be to wake up and smell the coffee. She keeps trying, but she's not coming across the way she wants to the American public. That's reputation destruction disguised as legal advice. When your opponent's attorney publicly declares your persona is failing with American audiences, they're waging psychological warfare beyond the courtroom. American public opinion could determine this case's outcome. If Meghan's approval ratings continue declining, if Netflix content keeps failing, public sympathy shifts toward the sister she tried to erase. Meanwhile, Meghan's attorney dismissed the lawsuit as deserving only the minimum attention necessary. That signals complete confidence or dangerous underestimation of accumulated evidence. Here are the legal expert predictions. Constitutional law experts are divided on this case's likely outcome. Professor Jonathan Turley argues that Meghan's statements cross the line from protected opinion into actionable defamation, especially the specific hate group allegations. He points out that Netflix's global reach amplifies potential damages beyond typical family disputes. But First Amendment advocates like Floyd Abrams contend that family relationship commentary deserves broad constitutional protection, even when it damages reputations. They argue that forcing public figures to defend every family statement under oath would chill legitimate personal expression. The 11th Circuit has historically been conservative on free speech issues involving private citizens versus public figures. Recent decisions suggest the appeals panel may be skeptical of broad First Amendment defenses when wealthy celebrities allegedly destroy ordinary people's reputations for entertainment profit. Legal betting markets currently favor Samantha winning her appeal by a narrow margin. If those predictions prove accurate, Meghan faces the depositions and discovery process she's desperately tried to avoid through years of legal maneuvering. The appeals court's decision will likely hinge on technical questions about whether hate group accusations constitute verifiable facts or subjective family opinions. That seemingly minor distinction could determine whether this case dies forever or explodes into the federal trial that exposes 3 years of accumulated evidence about systematic family destruction for global entertainment. If Samantha wins her appeal, the discovery process becomes Meghan's worst nightmare. Federal court discovery rules allow examination of any evidence relevant to the case, including private communications, Netflix production meetings, and coordination with public relations firms. Text messages, emails, and phone records between Meghan, Harry, their lawyers, Netflix executives, and PR consultants could all be subpoenaed. If these communications reveal coordinated efforts to destroy Samantha's reputation for entertainment value, it strengthens the defamation claims exponentially. The discovery process could also expose financial motivations behind the media deals. If Meghan was under financial pressure to generate controversial content for Netflix, it supports claims that family relationships were sacrificed for streaming profits. Witness depositions would include Netflix executives, documentary producers, and anyone involved in creating the content that allegedly defamed Samantha. These industry professionals would be questioned under oath about editorial decisions, fact-checking procedures, and whether they knew certain claims about Samantha were potentially false. The discovery timeline typically takes 12 to 18 months, during which both sides can demand extensive documentation and witness testimony. For someone like Meghan, who built her brand on controlling information flow, the uncontrolled nature of federal discovery represents an existential threat to carefully managed narratives. And now, here's the collapse of the victim narrative. Line up the evidence systematically. Oprah's globally televised only child erasure, Netflix's industrial-scale hate group accusations, contradictory social media investigation findings, coordinated deposition resistance strategies, calculated political appeals warfare, ongoing creditor investigation revelations, and sweeping constitutional law implications. One isolated family disagreement could be managed through private settlement. This many simultaneous legal vulnerabilities looks like systematic courtroom dismantling of a carefully manufactured victim narrative. Meghan methodically built her entire post-royal identity on authenticity, strategic victimhood, and family tragedy storytelling. But what if that globally profitable narrative was constructed through legally actionable character assassination of inconvenient family members who knew her real personality before international fame transformed her into a managed media brand? What if the half-sister she tried to completely erase from her official life story has spent 3 years methodically collecting federal court evidence proving the supposed victim was actually the calculated aggressor in this family warfare? Someone's carefully constructed reputation is about to be permanently altered by federal court decision. Either Samantha's expensive 3-year legal crusade ends in crushing defeat that validates Meghan's victim narrative forever, or Meghan faces the constitutional trial nightmare that could expose every manipulative calculation in her post-royal media empire-building strategy. The court decision will either validate or completely destroy everything both sides have built. If Samantha loses, Meghan's victim narrative receives permanent federal court constitutional protection that shields her from similar future challenges. If she wins, the carefully constructed Sussex brand faces its first major legal defeat, with depositions, discovery procedures, and jury trial processes threatening to expose every secret they've desperately tried to control through media management. But here's the explosive finale nobody's prepared for. If this high-profile defamation case looks legally devastating, wait until you discover the parallel financial investigations that could reveal the real economic desperation driving the Sussex media empire's frantic search for positive publicity coverage. According to confidential legal sources familiar with ongoing proceedings, coordinated debt collection procedures and creditor deposition processes could expose systematic financial desperation that makes this public family warfare look like carefully orchestrated distraction from much more serious economic problems threatening the entire Sussex brand empire. This is HDR Spotlight. Subscribe immediately, stay tuned for breaking developments, and buckle up for constitutional battle. The Markle family legal war is about to crown a permanent winner and utterly destroy a loser forever.